6:33. Who's not here? Erica, Judy, Nick is not here. Susan, is it Michael? David? Okay.
Somebody online.
Okay.
Miranda.
Miranda.
That's
Sarah.
Sarah from Miranda's.
Any public questions or comments?
We don't have any public on, so.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
There's no members of the public.
Oh, okay. Moving on.
Yeah.
Guests, is this where we have Miranda Native come in, or?
I mean, they usually like to be first and get out if they can. You're up, Sarah.
All right, if you all are ready, I will share what we have for this evening. Jennifer, is there a way to me for sharing screens? I feel like there it is. Oh my gosh, it's been a long day, y'all. Okay, so everybody can see my deck here. All right, I'm just going to kind of go through this. I'm sure there'll be some questions, but I just want to kind of say where we are now and where we're going. So we just completed June. We ended our fiscal year. Well, you all ended your fiscal year. We're now into the new fiscal year. Looking forward to summer and then fall as we move into the September months. So a little bit of what we have done. So our last paid ad series was Say Spring. So kind of a get outside and play, get ready for summer, kind of trying to capitalize on some of that cabin fever feel. This ran from March through June 1st. It was a traffic campaign to the site. Overall, I'm happy with how this did. Over 300,000 impressions, 10,000 click-throughs to the website. So traffic is bringing people to the website, and a relatively good click-through rate. Upcoming ads for summer, we're moving away from static ads and more moving into reels or motion ads. And I'll get a little bit more into this as we talk through the presentation here, but we're finding that we're having a lot more engagement with those types of creatives. We're also finding that they have, for lack of a better term, longer legs. So one of the things that we notice when we're doing some of the static ads is what we refer to as creative fatigue. So after a while, people see the same creative again and again, and they're tired of seeing it. So we have found that reels kind of, they don't get fatigued as quickly, so they can last longer. And what this allows us to do is maximize on our ad campaigns to allow for less time of our team being in there manipulating things, more time put towards creative, but having a longer reach when it's all said and done. So Jennifer, I still have to clear a few of these with you, but we're knocking on the door getting these done, and I'm hoping that we'll have some really strong engagement from them. Next topic, there we go. Updates on the website. So we have the dining page launched. It's launched, I think between now and our last call. Happy with how that turned out. We were able to build in a few quick shortcuts across the top of the page. So if somebody's coming to the page and they want to find seafood, they have a quick button to hit to filter for seafood. But if they're looking for something specific, we have filters that allow for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then your various levels of cuisine. So by using those two filters, you can sort down, I would like dinner and Italian, and your Italian restaurants would show up in town. So a great tool for, hey, I'm not gonna lie, I've actually used it on a few occasions. One might call me and my wife a power user of Old Saybrook. We're there kind of almost every weekend. So there's a few times I've jumped on there and looked for like, hey, what can we grab to eat? But a great tool for visitors. And I know we featured this in the book, Jennifer, which one, the print guide that was out for the summer, bring people to the site. I don't remember what it's called.
We put an ad in the publication that the chamber does, the Old Saybrook Guide.
Mhm.
And then we also put an ad in the River Valley Guide. And they were both distributed through the local newspaper to all the households in the area, so. Something to
Yes.
try, yeah.
Yeah, a different way of getting this out there beyond the paid strategies that we've had. In addition, traffic to the website, there's a little asterisk next to this, but over the last 30 days, we had 12,000 visitors to the site, which is quite a few. So a little caveat there that this lovely spike was the day of Celebrate Saybrook. I'll dive into that a little bit more. So our numbers are slightly skewed as far as that is concerned, but still it's great to see that some of the tools that we're using are bringing people to the site for, in this case, needs day of, but there's a pretty good lead up to that as well. Looking at cities not set is going to be kind of the majority of the people that were using it that particular day. I know, Jennifer, you had a QR code going. We had some other things kind of leading people to the site. But when I was looking at cities for this past 30 days, Boston, New Haven, Old Saybrook, Bloomfield, a little bit outside of our normal radius, I also saw more cities in the over 100 mark than I had in previous months. So that's great to see. So a wider range. Part of our strategy for ads in the month of June particularly was for ads specifically regarding Celebrate Saybrook. And again, I'll talk about this a little bit more in the future. But since we were running those ads to the area, we ran a different style of ads to a wider geographical region to bring traffic to the website. So I'm not surprised I'm seeing wider cities, especially in Connecticut, reaching into the website than we had been seeing previously based on that particular campaign. Questions on this before I move on? Okay, so that's the 1 month. 3 months, so site to the traffic over 3 months, about 18.5, again, with that little bit of an asterisk there because of the Celebrate Saybrook event. Prior to the month of June, we were averaging about 3,000 visitors, slowly kind of ticking up. I think March we had 2,000 and change. April was up above 3,000. It's moving up slowly, but the month of June was a bit of an anomaly due to the event. Any questions on website general so far?
Yeah, how did that compare to last year? Do you remember how Celebrate Saybrook did in terms of visits to the website last year?
I do. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you're gonna do a recap for us, aren't you, on that?
I can give a quick overview. I do have some information on year over year kind of from Greg that I can share. Jennifer, it might be good for you and I to disseminate it a little bit further individually, but I can talk to it a little bit tonight. So I'll get there in a minute is the answer to that question. All right, so into Celebrate Saybrook. So we're talking about just the different ad creatives we use. We did display ads, and across both Meta and Google, we had some really great impressions, about over 5,000 plus each for Meta and then Google. Good click-through rates, and just in general, really happy with how all of these did. Budget was the same this year versus last year for both spaces. So maximizing the use of funds again by not necessarily changing the creative so much and having so many hands touch it, but putting strong, solid pieces out we were confident would gain a lot of views. So these are just, go ahead.
I just wanted to point out that this is all original photography too that we've paid for and banked. So whenever we have something come up now, we're able to just have good images available to make nice pieces like this.
To that note, I'm going to share really quickly. I'm going to go off script a little. We have for the town what we refer to as brand page, and this has some of the photography and mostly photography, no videography in here right at the moment. But we've at this point got a couple of different years of Celebrate. We have our town branded shoots we've done. So this photography is accessible to Jennifer if she needs it. I'll be honest, I use this a lot to jump in and find imagery. And 9 times out of 10, when I'm building these decks for you all, I'm pulling from these spaces. So it's really nice to have a solid bank of photography for us to use for visuals. But I will say I cheated this month. This photograph is mine I took on a chartered fishing trip. So I was looking for something a little different. So, okay. But yes, all original photography, which is great. It gives us a lot of flexibility to kind of build out as we want. Um, and then for the paid social, we've been having a lot of luck with carousel ads. We're finding in our market research that carousel ads are trending as ads people are very much wanting to interact with. So we made this one. If you look at it, it kind of is meant to be read as if it's on the phone here, and then you scroll through the images to kind of get this full story of the event. So in this particular slide here, you would see the mister would cross 2 images, and this is a kind of popular trend we've seen across some different ads and placements in this space. So pretty happy with how this turned out. In addition to these 2 types of ads, we also did a reel this year. I'm just gonna hit play and see if it'll play for me. Of course, it's probably not going to unless I actually make this a slideshow. There we go. So we did a reel this year. This had music to it. We've muted it just so we're not talking over it. And we did 2 different reels, and we again found these did really well. We're getting 82,000 impressions for this particular reel on Facebook and 65K on Instagram. I know, Jennifer, you said your daughter, well, I actually called you out on this one. She thought it was pretty cool. And so I was happy to hear that from somebody who's at high school age. So
College, yep.
college, yeah, hitting a different demographic. So kind of to this point, like I had said earlier with the summer creative, we want to move more towards these reels that kind of are quick, engaging. People watch them 2 to 3 times. We found it worked well here. We found similar things worked well in the holiday season when we were calling out specific events on the calendar. We were seeing good numbers of engagement and impressions in those spaces. So kind of touching on the website again, I pulled numbers from June 15th to the 23rd. So the Saturday before the event to the Monday after, just to kind of show how the week of the event was. And you could see as we were getting closer, we're lifting up as the number of people coming to visit the site and the sessions. So I'm really happy to see that so many people were actually using the site a couple days before and day of. As a guide on the day of. I know a lot of people were accessing the map that you had us post on the site, Jennifer, and people were looking into that leading up to that space. So any questions so far on any of this for this year? Okay. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And there we go. Bring up my other documents here. Nope, that's not the one I want. All right, so let me just share this here. So this is from our digital lead strategist, Greg Boyd, and he's more of a word guy than a picture guy. So I'm going to tell you that right up front. I would like to point out that we have grown year to year. Unfortunately, the first year we did Celebrate Saybrook, which was 2003, we didn't have the website. So we couldn't do a year-over-year comparison with that particular space. But I did ask him to take a look at 25 versus 24 for website performance and analytics. And so basically taking away from kind of some highlight things here, our total users have increased by 300%, and new users have gone up 304%, with returning users being 715%. So we're seeing a lot more people coming to this space. I do have some concerns about the data just being a little bit skewed because of the map feature. Jennifer, I think you and I gave you some heads up about kind of what that represented for the day of. That being said, though, it's a tool that people are using at the event to help them navigate it, and that we have this in place is very useful, and people are engaging with it when being prompted to do so at the event.
If we
Go ahead.
pull the data out up until the day of the event, do you think we could get a more accurate general comparison year over year? We just took out the day of traffic.
Probably. Give me a second. I want to see if I can do something here. Again, I'm going off script. We have a great tool that we use for you all called Agency Analytics. And it's a tool that allows us to see data for over time periods based on parameters that we put in. And I want to see if I can quickly compare to show you visuals of this year versus last year. All right. So let's just walk through this quickly. Can everybody see my screen okay? I'm assuming you're head nodding because I'll be honest, I can't see you all. You're very far away in my tiny little screen. All right, so what I did was I pulled June 2025 versus June 2024. And you can see that both of our days here, this is June 22nd and then June 23rd. So this year the event was on the 22nd, last year it was on the 23rd. We're seeing a definite spike between those 2 days. They're looking relatively close, with this year being 3,000 and change, with last year being almost the same. I think the difference here is about 40 users, which is actually quite impressive that it's as close. But you can see the numbers down here. Sessions are up 8%, total users up 6%. User engagement down a little bit. I think people were a little bit more efficient this year in knowing where to go, where to find the information. And then views up 14%. So overall, and again, these are me quick looking at these numbers. I will give you Greg's report, Jennifer, as well, so you can kind of dig a little bit more deeply into it. This site versus this year versus last year, running similar, which is not necessarily a bad thing. However, I did notice when I was looking at data about the Facebook events, Facebook event this year got much more engagement than Facebook event did last year, which got much more engagement than Facebook event previous year. So we're seeing more people going into that space and engaging with the content that we're putting out on Facebook and saying, yes, we're interested in the event, we'd like to go. Those kind of things are up.
The other thing,
go ahead.
this year, tried a new thing with, we always encourage the vendors. We give them materials and instructions on how they can help promote the event. And this year, Miranda Creative put together instructions for them on how they could actually collaborate with us online. And don't ask me to explain exactly what that means because I can't. But Sarah probably could. And we do have some takers on that. So we are always evolving every year in how to continue to not only do our own promotion, but teach others how to be part of the promotion, because that's free.
Yeah, that I was going to jump into that too, Jennifer. We have a content creator who works for us named Yana, and she's really kind of savvy about a lot of these things. She's the one that made the reels, and she made the suggestion about doing collaborations. So collaborations, and I'm jumping into the page here on Instagram to see if we can find something that is going to show what I'm talking about. If you're unfamiliar, a collaboration is where I post something on Instagram and it may have something to do with you, so I invite you to collaborate. If you choose to collaborate, then the post that I have posted will also show up on your Instagram feed. And it'll show both of our usernames at the top of the post. So why would you want to do this? Someone would ask. The reason being is it allows us to get our message organically, and for lack of a better term, free, in front of other people's user base. So for instance, I found this one that I will share with you. So here we have a post by Carib Creations, who is one of the vendors at the event. So when Jennifer reaches out to all the vendors, she supplies kind of some creative that is similar and on brand for us. And so those vendors are asked to share that out to their followers. In this particular case, we asked Jennifer to reach out again for a second round, speaking with those vendors and asking them to post a second post using their own creative, and again, inviting us to collaborate. This way, their creative shows up on our feed, and it's not necessarily the same image showing up again and again and again on our feed. So we can see up here, it has their name and Sailed Saybrook, so it's collaborating with us. They're calling out what they're going to be doing, and stop by and say hello. And so this particular post shows up on our feed as well as their feed. And if we take a look at their feed, they have 1,300 plus followers that have now seen a post from the person they follow talking about an event and or another entity, Sailed Saybrook, us, Celebrate Saybrook, in that space. So we're reaching this audience with minimal effort. Hey guys, do you mind collaborating with us? And getting a message about the event in front of a group that we might not have been able to reach otherwise. So the collaboration strategy is definitely something we're really going to explore further. I think for Starlight, this is actually going to be a really great technique because it's one of those spaces where there are a lot of local vendors. There's a lot of local restaurants we could ask to collaborate with us, and making sure too we potentially share some creative with them. And that piece of creative is maybe the last slide in a carousel. So they have a couple images of their own, and then in this case, it would be Starlight. Come join us, come see us, whatever the call to action is. So the collaboration. Just a quick kind of note on that. The wrap up was about 8 local vendors collaborate with us, and it definitely brought some attention to the account. We definitely got some cross promotion. So we were really happy with how this worked out. And again, I do want to explore this further for some of the events and call outs we want to do in the future. All right, so let me go back to my deck. Thank you for bringing that up, Jennifer. I'm not going to lie, I had forgotten to put it in the deck. All right, so website traffic day of year over year. I will share the report from Greg, which is very in depth and kind of gives a lot more of the meat and potatoes of it. I gave you the salad and appetizer version. So kind of moving forward into where we're going next, unless anybody else has any further questions on Celebrate this year. Nope. Okay. Okay. Moving forward, continuing to update the website and add content. We're in the process of building out the experiences pages. So this is going to be attractions, recreation, outdoor events, kind of all the things you can do in Old Saybrook that don't necessarily fall into a neat box. So I'm actually excited about this one because as a person, like I said, who is in Old Saybrook a lot, these are the things I'm looking for. Once we have that in place, moving into shopping, a directory of the stores and vendors that would fall into the space of shopping. And at that point, we would have dining, experiences, and shopping as 3 pages to bring a wider variety of what we have to offer in the town on the website. Questions on this so far? Nope. Okay. And then paid social for the fall. Again, continuing to explore Reels. We have a lot of really great video footage from our fall shoot. I think it was a year or 2 ago now. Just really nice outdoor spaces, warm cups of coffee at Ashlawn and things of that nature. So building Reels and bringing kind of that lifestyle and all of the fun things that Old Saybrook has to offer for the fall. The plan for that is to begin launching those early September. So, kind of that back to school time, with summer running through the end of August, and kind of taking Labor Day as that shift to move into our new space. And that is where I am for the moment. Any other questions, thoughts, concerns?
I just have one concern. If there is a dining one, remember I brought up to you under ice cream, Coastal, they're not in there?
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to keep track of all the new restaurants. Like that farm table one apparently opened. I drove by it the other day. I was like, oh, they're open. So,
Add
yeah,
another ice cream place.
we have,
Ice cream, we have a lot of ice cream stores in
You
this
guys
town.
do have a lot of
And then
ice cream.
yeah.
I gotta tell you, that Coastal, they have a little sampler. Like
Is that the
three
one that had
individual
Johnny
things.
Ads?
Yeah.
It's the one, yeah, Johnny Yats, and so Fenwick, which used to be there, is across the street, yeah. But Coastal is there now.
Yeah, and Jennifer, to that end too, I'm working with the team on getting some material, and I want to set up like an actual training with you and team members on how to update some of these things so we can stay on top of them. Because I know that, I think in the time we've put the dining page together, I'm thinking at least 3 or 4 changes, ins and outs, and
Oh,
yeah.
you know,
I've
so
got like 4 more changes coming,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
So that's something that the inventory of what's up there, like, we have to maintain that. It's not like the restaurants can submit their own stuff or
Right,
think of that.
right,
It's not like the calendar where that's more of a, we have to add stuff.
right.
But the restaurant, there's a lot coming and going.
Yeah, I mean, the going, I could see why they wouldn't take their stuff off if they close, but like when they come in, is there some way for them to be like, hey, we're here, can add me to the directory, or do we just have, we're sort of monitoring them now as,
So, I mean, there's a way here, like, I'm trying to figure out a better system with town clerk and assessor so that I can get heads up on new stuff. I mean, I try and pay attention, but,
yeah.
but yeah, we have to do the actual,
Okay.
because it's a little more complicated because there's the picture and the linking and the mapping and the areas that they're gonna be, I don't know. I mean, it may become more automated.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the future, yeah, if you get, there's a notification, there's probably other information you want to get out to new businesses, like, hey, here's how you can get
Yeah.
yourself known and listed, and if you're a restaurant, we need this information to get you on the
Yeah,
directory.
Yeah.
give us a picture.
Yeah, if you want to make it, we don't want to make it a full-time job, just maintain the directory. Maybe if it's busy enough, we do want that, that might be a goal, but.
So one thing, coming from the architecture review board, they always get a new sign.
Yeah,
Oh.
So I wonder if there's a way to work with the architecture review board to give them information when they're doing their sign of what they have to do or what they can do. And how they, and how they can let you know the information that you want.
Or even just like when they're submitting the application, is there some just like, hey, have you talked to economic development yet? And they can say yes or no.
yeah, that's,
Just an awareness whenever they apply for any department in town.
They can just do it, but the sign would be something everyone is gonna do.
I mean, going along with that, I've seen a drop off a little bit in people posting to the calendar. And, some of it is, I think, really just getting people to remember to do it. I mean, some people have never done it, but some people I know are having events. They've used the calendar before, but I'll see their social media and they'll be like, oh, we're doing this and this. It's not on the calendar though.
Hmm.
And I know they know how to use the calendar because they've used it for other things. So I had a little money left over in the budget and I ordered 5,000 of those little business cards. So with
I'm constantly, they're all
Yeah.
surrounding us.
so I want to use it as a dual promotion where we
That too.
give it to stores and encourage them to use the calendar and then also give them a bunch to throw in shopping bags and such and
Yeah.
promote it to people coming to town. So
Is there any like metrics they can get to like see how many people saw their event like on our calendar? So like, are they not doing it because they don't see value, or are they just not doing it because they forgot it was there?
I think a lot of people, it's just time.
Yeah. But it's
But
like, if we had something to say like, hey, you did an event and we sent you 500 visitors and you missed out on those.
yeah,
I think the ones that have have it scheduled every month.
Well,
Something
yeah,
that's got,
right.
it's easier just to keep it up. It's different ones that are
Yeah, if you're
having,
doing
like the
one-off,
auto
You
show.
gotta
or the
remember, yeah.
I keep trying to run back to them with the card and
Yeah.
say, hey, don't forget, add it.
Yeah, I mean, it's still new relatively, but
I mean, that woman over at Johnny Ads, like, I think it was Johnny Ads. she was like, "Oh, this is so great. I do events for a lot of places." And then I see another car show come up and she doesn't put on her calendar. I'm like,
Well, that's, I've been down there. I mean, you know how much ice cream I've been eating this summer? I'm constantly
Oh,
going,
my God.
I'm here again, here's the card, now I put my name on the top of it. Like, really, put your stuff on it, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oof. Been
Yeah.
eating a lot of ice cream. That bee's knees is really good.
They have Bee's Knees ice cream.
Yes,
That's at the new Coastal.
yes,
What's the flavor of bee's knees?
it's like a honey with graham cracker.
Oh, that sounds good.
It is.
Because
That
I
sounds
love the
good.
Bee's Knees cocktail. It's one of my go-tos.
That's good to know.
And
I
Fenwick,
learned it.
I learned all about, also.
My husband will ask me all the time.
I ate ice cream for dinner today.
Okay,
All right.
So we're all set with
Do you have anything
Sarah?
else for Sarah so she can go on with her night?
I was gonna say, one of the things that we've done in the past to kind of encourage use of the calendar is some of those call outs, where we have specifically used the calendar to pull, hey, this weekend in Old Saybrook. And it's kind of, a wink nod, like, yeah, you want your event called out on our social media? We'll put it on the calendar. So we've used that in the past. It's something that's, I think, worth exploring. Like, we try to be relatively agnostic about who we promote in the advertising for the Economic Development Committee. But at the same time, if we can use that as some leverage to help get more people to sign up and use the calendar, then it's something that I think we've talked about it as a strategy before. It's something that's worth exploring again. And we did have some luck with that, I think, the latter part of the year when we were doing our calendar call outs.
Like people call the town hall to get on the light up sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We prompt them as well.
Well, and the thing is, like, businesses can't go on the light up sign.
Oh, it's true. All right. That's why.
So we're offering them
Yeah.
their own version of the light up sign.
Yeah.
And we're paying for the advertising of it.
Mm.
Like,
Oh, it doesn't cost them anything.
no,
Yeah.
Yeah, just time. Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Have we ever advertised saybrook.com on the light up sign?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Check out our events calendar.
Like,
It's not a bad idea. The last time we drove into town, my wife asked me if I had to maintain the light up sign too. I was like, no, that's not mine.
annoyed with the light up sign because there's so much competition for the space on there.
Yeah.
Like, I sit in front of,
Yeah.
I come in like the direction of Mystic Market to come to work. So
Yeah.
I sit in front of that every day. And I never once saw Celebrate Saybrook.
Oh, wow.
And I know it was on the sign because I filled out the thing, but it was never there when I was there. And I just kind of like to see it, you know?
I should have taken a picture.
That should be like every third or fourth thing when it's coming.
I should have told them, like, at least for the few days before, nobody else gets any
Right.
space, it's all us. We do, and our IT
Yeah.
director runs it, yeah.
I think saying saybrook.com on there would be a big
Yeah.
deal.
Find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram, use our calendar, have it come up a couple of times a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rush hours.
I was gonna say rush hour,
Yeah.
rush hours.
8 to 9, couple of times, 4 to 6 at night.
Mhm.
That's a good idea.
3 to 4.
I'll tell him.
I don't know if he lets you choose when you get on. Hey, I didn't call.
Good though, we're gonna say.
We need 5 minutes every hour.
All right. Is there anything else y'all need from me at the time?
Thank
All
you.
right. Jennifer, I'll follow up tomorrow with the deck and Greg's full report for you. And if there's any other questions, send them my way and I'll do my best to get them answered.
Yeah, I have some website follow-up too I want to do with you, so.
I figured as much.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you all very much. Have a good
Thanks,
rest of the
thanks.
evening.
Chill.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Staff reports?
Let's see, okay. Yeah. So Mariners Way, they're moving along with that, really trying to make progress there. I'm hoping by the fall, maybe they'll have a little more to report, but they've got 3 working groups going right now, so. And then, as some of us were talking about before, I mean, just the visual changes down there. I feel like, you know, anything can maybe start spurring people's imagination
Yeah.
now, so.
It's nice to see that Custom Marine is totally gone. I
yeah,
can't remember when it wasn't there.
yeah. I think it's
Um,
been vacant for over 20 years.
oh,
like that.
more than that.
Yeah.
We go by it in the bus and I've been out of school more than 50 years.
Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
When is the last time we had an update on Mariners Way from them?
From like the committee.
Yeah,
So this committee just got formed a few months ago. So, and I meet with them every month. Basically what they're doing right now is they've taken the report that we had done last year and, their charge is to see whether or not we need to have an actual redevelopment entity formed. So they're doing further studies based on the report to see what the next step is going to be.
I guess I'm really not sure what I'm looking for as an answer to that, group, like, just that they're working on it and they're,
So the
have they
three,
come up with anything? I mean, having worked on, sorry,
I would just brought that back.
having worked on it so diligently and
I
for
know.
so long, I'm personally feeling stifled.
so the report that came out had, I think it was 7 initiatives and 10, I can't think of the word. Well, there was 2 different groups of things, like, the things that they thought could potentially work in that space. And then there was a list of steps to take to get there. So it was a very action-oriented plan. One of those was to form a redevelopment entity. Because in the meantime, all of those vacant properties sold and are now being used for the railroad, we felt like the landscape of what was going on there changed drastically and is sort of almost in a little bit of limbo because for 6 years while that project goes on, a lot of those properties are being rented to the railroad. So is really now the right time to form a redevelopment entity when a lot of the stuff that we thought could be redeveloped is not going to move anytime soon. So instead, right now, this committee is looking at a couple different themes, like creating a sense of place, creating connections with other areas of town, doing additional soil and septic testing, and also looking at streetscape enhancements and things like that. So things that we can have an impact on while we sort of wait to see how things shake out. Does that answer a
Well,
little bit
because
better?
the only impact with the railroad is the 9 properties that really had a huge issue with brownfields. But there's still a whole Route 1 that needs revamping.
Right.
I mean, it's spotted here and there where they're improving and businesses are looking alive, but there's a lot of places that don't look so good.
So one subcommittee is focusing on business outreach,
Okay.
and one subcommittee is focusing on the streetscape, and one subcommittee is focusing on the septic capacity and the wetlands.
Have they come up with anything at this point?
Well, they've only had 3 meetings, so.
Well, what kind of time frame are they thinking about? I mean, I get the point that it would be, take them a while to get going, but is there like a plan, you know, and a final report in a year or?
I don't-
Going for 3 years? Or what?
Yeah, I don't think they're looking at doing another report. I think they're more looking at moving what progress along that we can, and then seeing then how that maybe attracts interest from the private sector in creating additional progress. I do think they're hoping to have some updated reporting for the selectmen by the fall. So I can certainly share that when they give that out.
Any of the stuff that we have done, the pamphlets that we have printed out and the visions that we had, are they using any of that stuff to help make decisions on what's gonna work and not work?
You mean the study that was done a decade ago?
Was it a decade ago? Seems like last year to me.
They are actually using all the previous resources. I know they're even looking at the Route 1 corridor study. They looked at the previous Mariners Way study, the current Mariners Way study. There's another one that they were looking at recently. Sort of like dusting off everything we have and saying, okay, we do have a lot of resources and data. How can we, really use this to move things along? And the Thrive study that we did with RiverCog, that final study should be coming out any day. And the great thing about that was, as part of it in our TOD area, which we kind of asked them to push as far as they were willing down the Mariners Way corridor, they did a lot of septic capacity study, which we didn't have to pay for because that was a federal grant through RiverCog.
Okay.
And so they gave us all their raw data too afterwards. They shared that with us. And so that subcommittee is going through that right now and seeing what they can figure
So
out.
compiling all that information.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um.
So we,
minutes?
so,
Oh, I'm still on stuff.
yeah. So Sarah did pretty much went through all the marketing.
Mhm.
There's nothing crazy going on in zoning that I know of at the moment.
Okay.
America 250, just to keep you guys up to speed. There's always something going on. So next summer will be the 250th anniversary of the country, and so the state would like every town to do a little something. Our working group has generally agreed that we've brought together a whole bunch of different organizations in town, and we'll have some special things, but maybe we'll just also do some of the things we would normally be doing, like say a concert on the green, but we'll have it to go with the theme. So we're not reinventing the wheel and creating a ton of extra work for everybody, but we're gonna market everything together as, these are our collective over June and July next year events that all are gonna celebrate this anniversary. And we are still looking at maybe doing one wow thing, but I don't know what that's gonna be yet. So if anyone has any great ideas or would like to join the fun, just let me know. We meet once a month. I am not running that committee. Amanda, our librarian, is the chair of it, but what else? Main Street Business Association is still kind of working to figure out, where they're going with that. They're sort of negotiating a relationship with the chamber. I've told them that I'll support them, but I'm staying out of those particular negotiations. I feel like it's between them. But they do have some events planned that sound fun, and I feel like maybe putting some of our digital ad dollars towards large scale events downtown is in keeping with our downtown marketing campaign. So I have offered that help for them. And of course, have them on the calendar and promote it through our social media. So, and then here, things to keep on the radar screen. These are what I think we should start thinking about working on in the fall. So if people want to take a look at these, and sort of mull them over, I'm trying, not to forget about all these pieces in the bigger picture. And, I know summer's a really hard time and, we've been coming off some really busy stuff, trying to get the website really up and running, and it's still not there yet, and Celebrate Saybrook. So, I think fall would be a good time to start tackling some of these things. And again, taking a look at our strategic plan and thinking about where we're going and how we especially want to spend our last year and a half of ARPA time.
Mhm.
So anyway,
So I was looking at, the assistant town planner paragraph there.
yeah,
And, number 2 of ideas, provide information for businesses regarding pre-disaster and post-disaster resources and disseminate this. Having worked on Hurricane Sandy recovery, and then living in town here, Old Saybrook did a really nice job of encouraging local businesses, providing coupons for people to use. That's really helpful. But, I'm thinking there must be some, pieces of information somewhere in the study.
I think SBA has a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I
I
mean-
think we should steal liberally.
Yeah, I'm just.
Borrow. Literally.
Yeah, change the name. right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking there must be some of that that's available. And I mean, any disaster would be unique, but there would be some commonalities in terms of dealing with it that I would think would be pretty available.
I think too, this stuff is even like encouraging businesses to have a plan in advance if something happens, know where their documents are, even just some of this basic stuff. Already have the phone numbers and resources available for who to contact if something happens. So, instead of like spending hours combing the internet and trying to figure it out, you can pull out your little packet and say,
Mhm.
oh yeah,
Mhm.
this is who I call for help on this. This is who I call for help on this.
Yeah, so the other thing about that, I mean, then could the town also keep that list so that if the person wasn't available, the town would know who that business was going to contact if there was problems. Like, so that business has it, they send a copy to the town, so the town also has that contact information. Well, I mean, I don't know that we need to get down to the nitty gritty today, but
Well, and I think we can even, once we put a packet together, then post it on the website so that even if somebody lost their packet, they could go online and be like,
yeah, okay, that sounds good.
yeah.
And then the other one I was wondering about is consider applying for the Arts and Culture District designation. Have you talked about that? I don't get like, what would we have to do to have that happen?
Do you understand that?
I think I do. I think are we talking about like when I talked with Paulo? Like when they want
Oh.
art things? If we do.
Well,
Have an
that
art
would
corner, that
go
would be
along with
great.
it.
That's part of it.
Yeah, so I haven't done all the research on this yet. I mean, because I told Lynette I can't really focus on that until the fall. But yeah, there'd be a form to fill out, there'd be information that we have to provide. You have to sort of put a border around what area you're gonna have. Then you have to identify the assets that are in that area. There's definitely a process and, you'll get approved or not. But I mean, we have a lot of exciting little things coming up, like Erica will tell you about.
I talked with one of the owners of Fred Astaire, Paulo. If you notice, he's between Waltz, Fred Astaire and Waltz, and there's a alleyway, for lack of another word,
Right.
goes to a parking lot. He took out the landscaping and put because he was getting a lot of weeds. So he met him there and he had redoing all this landscaping, made it look great. And he said, I'd really like to paint my building, like on the side, like dancers or something, like colorful dancers. And we had just come from the meeting where we wanted more artwork downtown. I was like, that's a great idea. Like, let us know what you want to do. And then he wants to string lights, between his building and Waltz, and they would be solar. And he thought that would be a nice way to have people from that back parking lot come up. And he asked me, and I said, you better go to town about the lights. I can't tell you. I'm like, I don't want to get in trouble, but that might be something, but they're solar, not whatever. And then he showed me his house, that he has them at his house. And they look lovely. It's kind of a nice feeling when you see that. So he's real big into doing any of that kind of stuff. So I was like, yeah, because he's center. He's like, center of Main Street.
But did the mural project get, stopped?
My understanding is if you own the building, you can put a mural on it.
Okay.
My thing was check with the town. It's a great idea. Check with the town. Cause I don't want to be.
Dances, I'm like, when does a mural become a sign?
Yeah.
We can't control the murals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So-
don't have any jurisdiction. on it.
So, but that to me is like,
That would be great. I mean.
I think it's a great idea, right? And that's where we want the piano and everything else. So I think he was very energetic about doing this kind of stuff, which I thought was great. And he was gonna have a new grand reopening, and I was like, put it on the calendar. Here's the.
Yeah, they just refinished all their floors.
Yeah.
They like
Yeah.
invited me in to look at their floors. Like
Yeah.
they're very enthusiastic.
But they should
Really
do,
nice.
and I said, when the piano comes, we'll put it on the calendar, so, which is a good thing.
Tommy there was a great dance teacher when, our daughter's wedding was going along. We thought we should stay and learn the tango, but we just haven't gotten back to it yet.
And we're on the art hallway, we have another artist that wants to come in for next year, 2026. She's gonna send her stuff in, Claudia Cormier, and I met her at the farmer's market Saturday. Here's my business card. I liked her work. I thought it was really cool.
Great.
Asked her if she'd be interested in something like this. She absolutely said she would be. She does show in the art show here in October. Her landscapings were gorgeous stuff. And they're very reasonably priced and we sell them. And she said, I can't. And I said, yeah. So she wants to come and look at what's up and how long it is, but she got sent pictures in the form. So she's very hot into doing this. But I think you said you wanted to try to keep the May to August for an American birthday type theme.
If we can get somebody,
Yeah.
or if we make it deal with the schools where like the kids do something on theme or something like that.
I still keep going back to the schools, the 3 schools, because I think it'd be so cute to have them do it. Have like the seniors did with like there were more kids in those bands for, the parades. They have those, like have a little jazz band or one of the bands, like do just like kind of what the adult eds did. And, I know August is a hard time to take it down. I'd even be willing to take down the artwork and store it somewhere for the kids. Or bring it back to the schools in September and they can bring it back, or parents could pick it up somewhere. Cause I know they're obviously out of school. But we might need help with, I don't know if we have a superintendent of the schools or someone, Board of Ed that might help us promote it or,
We're having
talk
a
to
little
them.
trouble engaging the school system right now with this America 250. So, Amanda was gonna reach out again.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I don't know what the
Okay.
ditch
I
is.
just want to follow up one more thing with the arts and culture
Yep.
thing. Is that a part of the sustainable Connecticut focus? And is that going to be really time consuming to get that whole check off on our list of things that we've done?
Yes, so these are all just ideas and they would all score us in sustainable CT. I mean, we were just meeting to see where the two things, collide.
Yeah.
And what could possibly be done. And, so we picked out a few things that sort of fit with the direction we've been going.
Right.
And so, I thought we could at least bring them up and talk about them. I don't know that there's an ongoing maintenance once we get the designation, other than you know, of course, we want to continue to have like programming and encourage that vibe, but we don't have to like, I don't think, reapply every few years or, and I actually even asked Lynette, I said, so what happens once you know, create a disaster plan or do all these things? And, you know, you have to every 3 years be recertified through sustainable CT. And there's only so many things you're ever going to be able to do, but you get credited for the things that you've done before. You don't just have to keep doing new things over and over again to like maintain your gold status or whatever it is. Yeah, I know it's too much pressure.
I mean, other than applying for the district, like, do you get anything for it? I guess, does that qualify you for any like, you know, grants or programs or?
Not right now.
On Route 1?
Yeah, not right now. It doesn't,
That's-
but there's the potential that it could because
Oh.
there are other things like this that have turned into that kind of thing where, you know, if you are part of these things, then you have the opportunity to apply for funding,
Right, okay.
which would be great, you know, if we had the designation and they put some funding in and then we could say, oh, we'd love to have a series of pop-up art
Yeah.
shows like whenever and they would give us money and we could market it and pay artists or whatever, you know, something we might not be able to do otherwise.
Like the Kate and the murals, and I guess the,
Yeah. I
I think it
mean,
fits.
yeah, we have a lot going on that fits into
Yeah.
this between the history. You know, we have the pottery studio, the dance studios, Kate, art, the art gallery. So, yeah. All right, that's all I have. Unless anyone has any questions. So the budget too, I don't know that I need to continue to do the budget every month because now that we're just doing the rest of our ARPA dollars out of the monthly fee, I extrapolated out here to show you the whole thing. We'll have maybe about $1,700 left over. So, you know, we will want to figure out what to do with that last $1,700.
Business cards.
Really?
Was it a photo shoot or not?
But yeah, so that basically takes us through the end of the period.
So we're pretty much on target, not
Yes.
over budget.
Yes. Yep.
Busy this time next year when it's
Yeah.
all gotta be spent.
So when we go to do our annual regular town budget,
It's December.
we'll again, look at doing a boost to our marketing line in anticipation of when we don't have the ARPA dollars so that we can get up to the level that we need to sustain our efforts.
Approval of the minutes. Everyone read the minutes?
Yes, I have it. Yeah. I make a motion to approve them as written.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Who seconded? Was it David? David? Dave?
Correspondence and announcements,
Nothing.
and we went over the event creative already. Any new business?
Oh, I guess I kind of talked
Yeah.
about it. The new projects.
Yeah.
Get ready to work in September. No.
Yep.
Just joking.
Full business, Main Street piano, where we stand with that, has the painting begun, stripping, painting?
So I've got a little sidetracked on another option that seemed like a good idea, but is being a little. So Erica's cousin is getting rid of a piano that is already white with a bench.
Are you kidding?
It's just in Worcester, Mass. And so I've been trying to like find a mover to bring it here. And, you know, you get on the phone with them and they're like, oh yeah, we charge this much an hour. And I'm like, oh, perfect. You know, Worcester round trip is like 3 hours, you know, and you got 3 guys and they'll bring it down. But then they're like, oh yeah, and this and this and this, and suddenly it's like $1,000 or $1,200. And I'm like,
It's a
but
big
you
deal.
said it was like $225 an hour. But they want like a 6-hour minimum and they want like so I don't know. I mean, we were gonna pay over $600 just to have it stripped. So I was figuring, well, if it was a similar budget just to get it down here, it's a lot easier to just have the piano already painted. We just get the girl going on it. But I don't know, nothing is moving fast. I'm open to suggestions.
The last piano came from New Haven. And, I think it was Latham Movers.
Mm-hmm,
I think they donated their time.
really? You want to call them and ask them if they would do it again?
They remember, right? I mean, we paid very little if we paid any, but I think
Yep,
they just, and we thank them.
yep.
We offer them free advertising.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the digital side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
logo on the side of the piano.
All right, leave the movers. They're my next call.
There's no people give away pianos for free though.
No, it seemed to me easier than the stripping and sanding, and we have no bench for the other piano. This was like, good to go. As soon as we get it here, call the girl and say, come and start,
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then we still have the other one if we ever
Mhm.
want to do something with it, but
Dueling pianos.
yeah. Website, still working on stuff. It's been a little bit slow, but my intern still keeps coming in, and I hope by the end of the summer that we'll have the other two pieces up.
Mhm.
So that's about it.
And do we have any advisory group reports?
So I was out of town for the Old Saybrook event.
Yep.
Was it great? I mean.
Awesome.
Data, but.
The bands were outstanding.
Yeah.
The bands were outstanding. They were really good. They played I mean, like, it was, they were great. And a lot of people were
Dancing right
there.
after that.
I'll tell you.
You're testing.
It was, the bands were very good. I had a good time. I love watching the kids and everything and go down.
I think we might have been a little bit down in attendance, believe it or not. I mean, we had a very busy middle of the event. And we had good turnout, but this is the funniest thing, but one of the ways that we measured the amount of traffic is in the garbage.
Yeah.
And how much garbage we had this year versus last year. So we had less garbage. But I mean, it was really hot, and I think that might have scared some people away. It's been hot every year,
Mm.
but I personally was like, by 4 o'clock, I was like, oh my God, there's 2 more hours. Like, I felt like a dish rag when I went home. I was disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, you were
It was
there.
hot.
Did you feel like it
Yes.
was really?
And
Yeah.
it had poured in
Yeah.
the morning,
Right.
like poured. So now it's just, it was a steam bath.
See that.
And a
Yeah.
lot of people had chairs in the mistings, like, you're supposed to walk through the misting thing.
Mm.
Saw them. There were a lot of chairs planted
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. But the music was great.
Yeah.
There was some good food, some good vendors. We are doing a follow-up survey. I think I'm gonna send it out tomorrow. And our HR company is doing the tabulation for us, and because we kind of feel like now year 3, we need to, especially we've grown and we had a couple growing pains this year. So we want to get a little feedback from the participants. And, figure out every year we do a little recap, what went great,
Sure.
what could have gone better. So we're working on that piece right now.
Got one piece of feedback.
Yes.
So on the morning, I live in town and we want to ride our bikes there. So I pulled up the website. There's no instructions of how to get here by bike.
Hmm.
And there's no like bike racks or bike parking on any of the lots either, so we just had to like find a tree or a fence to chain it up
Yeah.
to, so.
They used to have a bike stand in Porta Plaza, didn't they? Do they not have that anymore?
We came in from the south, so we sort of didn't make it that far with the bikes, cause. Yeah, I mean, I know there's like one at, Parks and Rec, I think has one, but. There's not a lot of bike racks on Main Street in general, but
Yeah.
So many places could actually be places to park.
yeah, I just kind of looked
Because
at,
of the sidewalks.
or even just like, I was looking more the direct, like, all right, where should I go if I have a bike? And like, cause you have, tell you where to park, tell you how to walk in, like how to get there by train, but. That's something else we can add.
Okay, good idea. Any other feedback from anyone who was able to go?
We had fun.
I thought it was great.
Other than, yeah, finding shade, yeah.
It was hardest the shade,
Mm.
Yeah,
People were all over the church, hanging out, like in the church.
Yeah.
Because it was so hot. It's like
Oh.
anywhere where people could find shade.
well, and I think Carl was a little bit upset about that too, because like the band that we had on the main
Mhm.
stage was a step up from what we paid for before. And it was so hot, nobody wanted to
Oh.
stand on the pavement in front of the
Yeah.
band, like, and we had a girl come in with chalk and like
Yeah.
decorate the dance
Yeah.
floor and everything, and nobody was out there. Everyone was like under the trees or
Yeah.
under the eaves, because it was, nobody wanted to stand on asphalt, you
Right.
know?
And we saw there's a juggler that there's in front of the Saybrook Hardware, and like there's probably 10 of us clustered underneath the tree off to the side where he was performing. Like I sort of felt bad for him, but
Yeah,
he did a good job. It was fun.
yeah, he's a good performer.
Yeah.
He drives all the way from Maine the day of the event to do that.
gosh.
Yep,
And he did mention he was from Maine.
yep,
It was funny.
yeah, he has a lot of energy.
Yes.
I wasn't able to attend either. Did we have maps to hand out as to if there was a place to park for your bike that would indicate?
We did have maps and with a QR code, and that was one of the things that Sarah was talking about, how there was that huge spike on the day of, because the QR code was on the map and it was linked that way. So I think a lot of people, might have been accessing it that way and caused an even higher spike on the day of.
Do we have adequate facilities for bathrooms?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Our bathrooms are, everybody loves our bathrooms.
Yeah.
They are air conditioned.
Yeah, they're
They
like
have real flush toilets. They have sinks with hand washing.
Very
Those,
nice.
those,
Yeah.
those.
I did not see any huge line.
Portable toilets. Let me tell you, the air conditioning people were coming out going, oh, kind of nice in there.
Oh.
And where are these located?
There's one down by the church and then there's one down by the hardware store, and they're like multi-stall. Yeah, they're like bathroom trailers.
Very fancy.
Yeah.
No smelly porta potties.
Yeah.
No.
Classy.
Yes.
Right.
If they weren't in the misters, they were at the toilets.
It's good.
Yes, we get high marks for our bathrooms.
I didn't, did people run out of food or beer like they had the previous year? I don't think as much, right?
I think people know a little bit more how much to make
Yeah.
now. I forget, some of the beer vendors did, I want to say over 600 pours.
Wow.
So, the beer vendors felt like they did about on par with last year. One of our restaurants said he was like 20% down, but he still had a great day.
Okay.
So,
I was there from 10:30 picking up the package until
Yep.
4:30. Didn't hear a band, didn't eat a thing, didn't drink a thing. And then when I could leave at 4:30, I
yeah.
was ready to go because I was soaked.
We did have one hiccup where we kind of ran out of space on the street, so we put a few people right in the plaza,
Yeah.
and those food vendors had a terrible day.
Um,
And so we sent them an apology letter and comped them for this year and offered them free for next year.
Yeah.
And they'll be on Main Streets.
I
So
was-
there's nothing we can.
I was
saw
gonna
them
ask
back
you
there. I was
about
wondering
that.
what was going
They
on.
were way back.
Yeah, I didn't even know they were there.
I went back and I did say, man, like, how did they get this place?
Yeah.
It was a huge shame too, because we had a bunch of no-shows, and if there had been a way to pivot, we could have just put them in places where people who didn't show up.
Do you follow up with the no-shows to inquire?
Well, some of them, because, you know, when we see people aren't coming, I start calling
Yeah.
from registration, and, you know, some people, one lady got in a car accident. One lady's boyfriend broke up with her and she flew to California to be with her
Oh,
family.
my.
I mean, I get it all,
Okay.
let me just tell you.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
And what's the fee to register for a spot? It's
75.
75 for early bird, 100 for regular. So,
not exorbitant, but
No.
So how far back in Port Plaza did they stick these people?
well, one of them was really far back, like all the way back where like the new Miracle Ear is. I don't know if you're
Oh,
familiar with
yeah.
that. And he was facing the wrong way, so he was facing away from everybody. And he actually did call me and he said, did I do something wrong?
Oh, no.
I was like, and I was like, oh, we hope it's gonna be great for you, because we had all the kid activities and the band, but it wasn't. People just didn't go back there.
Mm.
I
So,
didn't even know we got our food and stuff, and then we walked in there to someone to see the misting tent. He's like, oh, there's more back here.
Yeah, there was a Mexican corn or something.
Yeah.
happening
I
with-
mean, you could almost say you could build like a food cart like back there, like put all the food vendors in like one place
Yeah.
off Main Street. But I think it's nice to have everybody on Main Street too. Then you just like see them all as you walk.
I don't think that the landlord really wanted the food
Yeah.
in there either. We will not be doing it either.
Mm.
Well, lesson
Oh,
learned,
yeah.
that's okay,
Yeah.
you know? Live and learn.
Alrighty, well, I have no comments.
You did a good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
So motion to adjourn?
Somebody move to adjourn.
What, Susan, are you making the motion?
Yeah.
I'll second it.
7:45.
7:40.